as you get older, you start to realize how precious life is and how precious relationships are. And you start to realize that anything else is kind of extra. The only thing that stays consistent is the grind. Keep on grinding. Hey, what's up everybody? Very happy to be back today. Got a really different subject to talk to you guys about. You guys might have realized, if you follow the channel, that I haven't been on lately, and that's for a couple of reasons. My wife's grandparents' health and circumstances have been really bad lately. Hospitals and things like that. So we're trying to deal with that and show them support. And unfortunately, my wife's health has not been great lately either. Doctor appointments and things like that. And that's been really taking a toll on me and the family. So I haven't been around. It's unfortunate. I've missed you guys. I genuinely do. Every single day I receive comments on both my channels, which I will be uploading this video to both my channels just to kind of reach out to you guys and say hello, because it's been a while. I hope to get back to a regular, the regular scheduled programming as much as possible. It's so funny because the last video I made on my jewelry channel, I had a whole bunch of the awesome subs on that channel say to me, "Joe, you are so consistent. You're always throwing out videos on the regular and stuff like that." And I was so happy to hear that, because I try. I really do try. I have hundreds of requests to get to on that channel. So that's something that I have to do and look forward to do. But unfortunately, life got in the way, and life is getting in the way. So please forgive me, guys. Thank you guys for sticking around and being patient. I know, those requests mean a lot to you, and they mean a lot to me too. I'm trying to get to those. Today, I woke up this morning and I went to bodybuild. So I threw down my pre-workout, and I get on the tonal and I throw on YouTube, and that's something that I normally do, throw on YouTube, see what's out there to watch, something cool. And I saw a whole bunch of videos in regards to Scott Murray's passing away. As soon as I threw YouTube on, Jeffrey Schofield, I think that's how you say his name, his video regarding Scott Murray popped up, and I was taken back, because I don't know Scott Murray. I didn't even subscribe to his channel. I didn't know much about him. I have watched some of his videos in the past, and he always seemed like a nice guy, but I'll be honest with you. The reason why I didn't subscribe to his channel was because he always looked unhealthy to me. That was, it just, I don't know. It was nothing against him. I just didn't want to watch somebody telling me how to eat if they were unhealthy. But when I think back to the videos, the reason why I was watching his videos is because he actually was doing a lot of the same things as me. In this video, what I want to talk about is the lifestyle that he was leading, and the lifestyle very similarly that I was leading and am leading. If you guys see the transformation that I've made over time, I've lost a ton of weight. I think it's been close to 80 pounds. And at one point, not right now, because I did gain about 10 pounds or so, and that 10 pounds does make a difference. I was able to see the veins in my stomach. You guys would see me on the videos, veins popping out everywhere, and it looks really great. And I get tons and tons of comments all the time from the older videos, or people reaching out to me on Instagram and saying, "Joe, I want to look like you. What program's on the tonal machine?" Because my bodybuilding channel is directly tied with the tonal machine. When I started the channel, that's what I was using and still am using. So many of the people who see me associate me with the tonal, and then they say, "What programs can I use to look like you?" And what a lot of people don't realize, and I've done tons and tons of videos in the past regarding health and nutrition and things like that, although I'm not a licensed anybody, just from my own personal experience. Remember, you don't want to go by anybody on the internet. You want to go by your doctor and how you feel and your circumstances when it comes to your health and your programs and things like that. But a lot of people will reach out to me, and I'll let them know, listen, it comes down to diet. What Scott was doing is very similar to what I was doing. If you watch some of Scott's videos, if you're familiar with his content, tons and tons of steps every single day, tons of cardio, bodybuilding and cardio on the same days, never took a rest day. Every single thing that he was doing that I just mentioned is what I have done in the past and still do, or strive to do. Unfortunately, like I said, lately time has been very precious to me, and I haven't had the time to do many things. Along the lines of his diet, he would eat low calorie, high volume food. That is something that I've also been doing for the longest time since my transformation. And again, lost 80 pounds. Lost weight, built muscle, gained strength, all of these things all at once. Many people will tell you that's not possible. But it is possible if you watch the transformation. It's literally the Joey B bodybuilding channel. Scott looked like he became obsessive. And it's very easy to become obsessive, very easy. There was a time where I would tell you guys I was doing 30,000 steps a day. You know, some of his videos resonated with me because in those videos he would say that he was cutting. And he never showed his body, which I don't know if that was because, well, it's rare that you'd see his body, but I think the reason why is because maybe he had some kind of a body dysmorphia, something along those lines where maybe he thought he was fat or he was self-conscious when really the guy was in great shape. I mean, well, physically, visually in great shape. I mean, he was see-through. You know, you could see every muscle in his body, every vein, you could see all these things. So you'd think that the guy was in good shape, but apparently not, because he passed away. Young man passed away, and it's just a shame. And again, I don't know the guy. I watched a couple of his videos, but literally didn't subscribe to him just because he looked unhealthy. And it was nothing against him. Nothing against him. But I saw the sunken-in face, and I thought, you know, I don't know if I should follow him just simply because I don't know if what he's doing would help me, would benefit me. But when I think about the lifestyle that he was living, and when I look at my circumstances, I see so many similarities. Like I said, at my peak performance, or what I'll call my peak performance, at the best that I've ever looked in my transformation, every vein in my body, in my legs, in my stomach, in my arms, I mean, if I could see my back, you'd probably see the veins in my back. And I don't know. It really makes you wonder, like, is this healthy? Is it healthy? And you got to have like a firm grasp on reality. I've always said to you guys in the past, you got to have a firm grasp on the reality of the situation. You know, you got to listen to your body. And apparently he died because his heart was tired. I mean, we don't know. We don't know exactly why he died. Maybe it'll come out soon. I don't know. Young man, but judging by his lifestyle, he was overworked because YouTubing in general, he was a YouTuber and a coach. YouTubing in general will destroy you. It'll destroy you. It is so easy to get wrapped up in editing, especially when you're doing the work yourself. You're editing videos, you're recording videos, you're doing all this crazy stuff, and it takes time out of your life. Then on top of that, you're trying to stay on your fitness game, right? So he's out getting his steps, he's out bodybuilding, he's out getting his cardio in, and he's also editing videos, and he's doing, it's crazy the similarities. It's crazy the similarities. It really is scary, and it shows you the importance of sleep, it shows you the importance of balance, it shows you all these things. And I've seen a few of the videos that other YouTubers have put out, you know, Jeffrey, like I mentioned, and a couple of other guys. It's so important, guys, to have balance. And something that I wanted to bring to the table is I get messages a lot. I get messages a lot, especially from the younger crowd. Now, this guy was young. I don't know how old he was, but I think he was in his, like, late 20s or early 30s, something along those lines. Either way, he was too young to pass away. And I get messages from a lot of the people who follow this channel, and they ask me questions regarding A2AM, or regarding this supplement here, this pre-workout. And I respond to those questions, and I've been asked by a lot of people hit me up and they'll be like, Joe, I'm 15 years old, I'm 16 years old. How do I take this stuff to maximize my performance? And I'm thinking in my head, these are legitimate questions. Because when I was 15 years old and when I was 16 years old, I was asking these questions too, except I had nobody to answer me. I was asking them to myself, and I was left alone in, you know, I'm reading Muscle Magazine, and I'm looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm looking at all these guys who are ripped and built, and I'm thinking, I want to be like that, but I don't know how. And next to every attractive guy in a magazine is a bottle of pills that promises that you, by taking those pills, will look like this guy. And so I used to think that was the way to do it. So I started off really early taking supplements, you know, not even knowing what to do with them, but just because they were pushed in my face. And in this world that we live in now with YouTube, it changes everything because you can get information out there. Now that information can be good or that information can be bad depending on who you're listening to, what the purpose of the content is, and so forth. You know what I mean? Like, you might be listening to a bodybuilder on YouTube tell you how to bodybuild, but you don't understand that his bodybuilding experience that he's passing on to you doesn't relate to your circumstance because you are not on drugs. You're not on steroids. So he's giving you information coming from his angle, trying to help you because you asked the question, but you don't know the right question to ask because your circumstance is different. So the information can be valuable, so valuable, but it can also be dangerous. It can also be dangerous. Like I said, I get asked questions about this stuff in particular all the time. Now, am I saying this stuff is bad? Am I saying that you should avoid this stuff? I'm not telling you that. I'm not bringing this up trying to make Derek or his amazing product look bad. I'm bringing this up because if you're 15 years old, if you're 16 years old, you don't need to be taking this. This stuff is here for energy. This stuff is here for appetite suppression. If you're 15 years old, if you're 16 years old, even if you're in your 20s, you really shouldn't be relying on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to be relying on it. If you do rely on it, will it benefit you? Of course it's going to benefit you. It's going to amplify any type of energy that you already have, for the most part. But what happens when you take stuff like this, supplements, is you start to abuse them because you get used to them. And when you get used to them, they don't help you the same way that they used to help you. You understand? So I can guarantee you, Scott, I'm not saying that Scott was on any of this stuff. This stuff, I'm not talking about this stuff in particular, any of the million brands that are out there, because there's a million brands out there of pre-workouts, diet pills, all that stuff. I'm just using these as an example because you guys are familiar with my channel and the fact that I promote this stuff to you and tell you how good it works. But I guarantee you, Scott was on, I didn't watch all his videos, so I don't know. But I can guarantee you, if he was exercising the way he was, if he was getting the steps in the way he was, if he was bodybuilding the way he was, if he was editing videos, shooting videos, and looking for opportunities to get more clips into the videos and all this crazy stuff that he was doing. If he was doing all that, he was on some drugs. And I'm not saying steroids. I'm saying he was on caffeine. He was on, you know, like this. This has a Raoul sign in it, right? Maybe he was on something like that. There's tons of over-the-counter stuff out there that you can take that will maximize your performance. But again, when you start depending on that stuff, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem. I mean, when you have zero fat on your body like he did, he had almost no fat. Where do you think the small amount of energy came from that he had? It wasn't from his fat stores, because he didn't have any. He probably had no glycogen in his system for energy, because he was constantly using that up during his workouts. He was being fueled, I'm sure. I'm not guaranteeing it because I don't know him, but I can tell you from my experience and from his experience, he was probably being fueled by supplements, and that's dangerous. Not only do the supplements themselves cause stress on your body every time you take them, not only do they cause you stress, but the reason you might be taking them is because you're already under stress. You might already be underslept. You might have no energy already because you've bodybuilded, you've edited and shot videos, you've done your cardio, and you're still doing your cardio because in your mind you think you need 50,000 steps a day because it becomes an obsession. This is real life. This is real life that nobody sees because you jump on camera and somebody sees that you have a great physique and they like your personality and they subscribe to your channel and they start mimicking what you do. But they don't see all the behind the scenes stuff. Again, I didn't subscribe to Scott simply because I didn't think he looked healthy. There's been times where I've watched my own videos and thought, Joe, you don't look healthy. That's real life. When my mom or my dad sees me or my wife sees me and they say, "You're getting too thin," and I think, well, I like seeing the veins. It really makes you think, are you getting too thin? All I know is he was too young. And you don't want that to happen when you're older either. Even if it was a freak accident and he died prematurely, even under all the stress that he was putting his body in, being underslept, being malnourished because he wasn't eating enough, even if those circumstances wouldn't kill a normal, healthy human being at his age, it's certainly going to take years off your life later. And when I think back to what I used to do when I was a kid, as far as the diet pills and stuff, I've done videos in the past telling you guys about diet pills, telling you guys about when you should use them, why you should use them, and so forth. When I think back, I don't know what kind of damage I've done to myself. And I still take the stuff. I still take it. And in the beginning of my transformation, like I've told you guys, I didn't always take this stuff. In the beginning, to lose a large majority of the weight that I lost, I did not take anything, not even a pre-workout. But I jumped onto the pre-workout and I jumped onto the diet pills when it started to get harder to break past plateaus, because I was losing weight, I was doing cardio, I was calorie restricting, and I was bodybuilding. So at some point your body's going to start to get tired. So you need a little bit of an extra boost. Is that okay? Sure, it is. If that's what you want to do, if you have a goal to reach, if you need that extra boost, sure. If you're going to a competition or you have a goal to reach before summer, you want to look like this, and you feel safe, and you might have spoken to your doctor, of which I am not, about taking things like this and using them properly according to the instructions on the bottle. If you've done all that and you feel like it's worth taking, sure, absolutely, take it. I've told you guys in the past, I would wake up in the morning, I would do my cardio, right? I would take the maximum dose of the A2AM. I would do my cardio for 8 hours. And I say 8 hours, for those of you who are not familiar with me, I like to get steps in. So I'm talking about walking around, moving, stuff like that. I'm not talking about high intensity cardio. But it's still 8 hours of movement, 8 hours of cardio, while on a low calorie diet, while then afterwards bodybuilding and taking this. When I was so exhausted to the point where I could not do my bodybuilding, because I did cardio for 8 hours, you'll recognize in the videos at one point in time, I told you I was starting to feel sick. I told you guys. It's documented in the videos. I was overreaching. I was overextending myself. I was doing 30,000 steps a day and then bodybuilding. So I had to shift some stuff around. I had to maybe get less steps. But the fact is, when my body couldn't take it anymore, when my body was so tired because I was doing too much, I would depend on this stuff. Is that smart? No, it's not smart. I'd wake up taking this, have the maximum dose of this, and then maybe 4 or 5 hours later or 8 hours later, whatever the case might have been, I would take this. That's a ton of stress on your body. Not only stress from the supplements, but stress from the fact that you are putting yourself out there to achieve your goal, and you may not even be getting the right sleep. So you're exhausting yourself left, right, up, down. You have a job you're working, a full-time job. You're bodybuilding, you're doing cardio. Whether that full-time job is YouTubing or it's electric construction, right? Like I do. You're overextending yourself. And sometimes it's hard to find balance. And when you see YouTubers like Scott, who would give out very good information, but you may strive to be like them. And then you forget what's dangerous, what's not dangerous. Oh, if he's doing it, I could do it. And that could be dangerous. So I'm putting this stuff out here to let you guys know that it's important that you try to find balance. Like I said, all those times that my wife told me, you're doing too much exercise, I would think, I'm not doing too much exercise. And sometimes you have to back off to realize whether something's good or not. This poor guy's dead. And it's serious. He's not the only one. I think somebody else just recently in the last week passed away. A bodybuilder, a professional bodybuilder. In the last 2 years, how many professional bodybuilders have died? How many of those people were you looking up to? How many of those people was I looking up to for the information that I need to know how to try to look like them? And again, I'm not telling you not to take this. These things, as I've mentioned in the past, they're tools. They're tools. And the sooner you find that out, the better. The sooner you find that out, the better. These affect your central nervous system. They drain you of energy after giving you the energy that they give you. They could knock you down as fast as they pick you up. So you need to use them as tools. It's very, very important. You don't just take them every day. I've had people say, Joe, I just take 4 of these instead of having coffee in the morning. And then you're sitting at a desk? You're taking 4 of these and then sitting at a desk? What, are you taking another 4 when you leave work to exercise? It doesn't make sense. You have to know when to use this stuff, why you're using it, and what they're made for. It's very important. You don't use a hammer when you need a screwdriver. You might not always need these. Sometimes I'll wake up and if I have enough energy because I slept for the 8 hours that I try to sleep every single night, because I've always told you how important sleep is. When I sleep for 8 hours a night, when you wake up, you don't need this. You don't need it at that point because you just slept for 8 hours. If you're fat, if you're overweight, you don't need this. It's weight loss pills, yeah. They'll help you to lose weight, yes. But fat is energy. Why, if you sleep good and have extra weight on your body, would you ever use these? These work best when you've already come to a point, in my opinion, because I'm not a doctor, right? But in my opinion, these work best when you can't lose weight anymore and you need to take off a little extra weight, and it's so hard to do because you've already lost so much weight. People will write to me and say, Joe, how many of them should I take and when? A lot of the time, my answer is you don't need them. Because why will you take them if you don't need them? If you're just going to be doing a couple of sets of bicep curls, right? And that's what you plan on doing. Do you need this? You don't need this. This is for when you need to push yourself beyond the limits that your body can normally push. That's my opinion. Am I deterring you from taking these? No, I'm not deterring you from taking them. I'm trying to tell you to know when and when not to use them. Especially if you're a teenager. Especially. I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm 35. But I got 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds hitting me up reminding me of who I used to be. I used to take diet pills like they were glasses of water. Because I thought that's what you had to do. And regardless of all the great information that we have on the internet today, regardless of all that great information, that information can get into your head and distort your view of things. And your view sometimes refocuses when you have deaths like these occur. I don't know where you guys are in your training, and I'm not pretending to know where you guys are in your training, but at the end of the day, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Understand why you're taking something. Understand why you're doing what you're doing. A lot of people see the fitness. I know this is getting to be a long video, but I hope that it helps somebody. A lot of people see the fitness influencers that we have on YouTube now, on Instagram now, and they become blinded by the fact that these people are angry, tired, exhausted, but they have just enough energy to smile for the camera. That's real life. You don't see that all the time. And you didn't see that with Scott, because every time you looked at him, you saw, oh, you know, he's happy, he's smiling. Yeah, sure, he would tell you that he's tired. He would tell you that he's overextended. In the comments on a lot of his videos, you'd have people saying to him, you need to eat more. You're not looking too good. You need to sleep more, because sleep is super important. Sleep. Sleep. Gorilla Dream, right? I take this. I tell you guys to sleep. I take this to help me get a good night's rest, because it helps. It really does help. Do you need to take sleep pills if you already sleep good? You don't. You don't. So they're for a purpose. Sometimes people have trouble sleeping. But you don't see the behind the scenes. So keep in mind, to every person that you see, there's a behind the scenes that you don't see. There's a wife or a girlfriend wondering, why is this guy acting like this? And she doesn't realize it's because he hasn't eaten in 2 days. She doesn't realize that he's taken so many diet pills that his nerves are gone. And he snaps at any little thing. I don't know anything. I'm not saying this is Scott. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is a lot of people. This is a lot of people. I've told you guys in the past, I've damaged relationships in my life as far as friends go and things like that, because when I was growing up, I didn't realize what I was doing to myself as far as the diet pills, as far as the training, as far as the low calorie, as far as the fasting, the binging, all of this stuff. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. And it's something that people strive to. Every single day I get messages, Joe, how do I look like you? Well, I'm telling you, it's not always fun and it's not always easy. People think that this machine, the tonal, gave me the body that I have, and so they buy a tonal. I've done a million videos telling you guys you'll get the same results elsewhere. This thing has features that will help you to get to where you want to be faster and easier and with no footprint, but you'll get the same results anywhere as long as you have bodybuilding and diet. And diet, because you're not going to see your veins pop out of your body from that machine. I say it all the time, and it's for a reason, because I don't want you guys to think that you're going to look like the way I look if you buy that machine. Because that's going to be a really expensive sob story. Comes down to diet, and diet is not easy, and training is not easy. And yes, I got to say, it happened very easily for me because of the type of person that I am. But keep in mind, you're talking 30,000 steps a day. You're talking about bodybuilding on top of the 30,000 steps a day. Then you're talking about walks at night with your wife to get some exercise after you've already exercised throughout the day. And then you're talking about a low-calorie diet. Does that sound like fun? So, a lot of the time when people hit me up and they say, how do I look like you? I ask them, do you really want to? Is it worth it? What's the purpose behind it? What's your reasoning? I've had people hit me up and say, Joe, I want to start a YouTube channel like yours. I want to make a Facebook page like yours. It takes energy. It takes time. And when you're trying to not only be there for the people who subscribe to you and show you support, you have to be there for your own family. And then you have to be there for your job. And then you have to be there for yourself, for your own health and mental well-being. And physical well-being. This is the stuff that you don't see. And you only find out what it's like when you're in it. And even sometimes when you're in it, you don't know that it's happening. On Scott's last video, I'm sure somewhere in the comments people said to him, you don't look healthy, and we're worried. So, be aware that this stuff happens, okay? I know this was a long video. I'm probably not going to edit much of it because I hope it helps somebody. As you get older, you start to realize how precious life is and how precious relationships are. And you start to realize that anything else is kind of extra. So it's going to come down to your goals, and it's going to come down to what you want. But understand that even the best of the best and the greatest of the greatest, it's fleeting. It's fleeting. Everything's fleeting. The people who've gotten down to the lowest body fat percentages have said, once they got down to it, that no one really cares. Nobody really cares. I've been told that 1,000,000 times by my family. Nobody cares how you look, except for you. Because you get in the zone. Anyway, think about your goals, think about balance, and try to understand you want to have a long, happy life. You don't want to be miserable. And it's unfortunate that this man died, and it's very, very sad. And it's even more sad that he died at such a young age. I know that my prayers and my wife's prayers will go out to his family, as will many of the other people who knew him and knew of him. And I know that he's impacted many people's lives in a great way. Take the good, but leave the bad, and don't forget that there's a whole bunch that you don't see from behind the scenes. Alright guys, take care, be safe, and I'll see you guys at the next video.